Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're doing really well. My name's Humna and I share content connected to art, healing and spirituality on my channel. If this is something you are interested in, then I welcome you. And I share content when I'm guided to. So it's not something that I regularly do, but these are videos that I share about insights that I receive through my downloads, my meditation, and connection to the Book of Allah. These are times when I'm on my own, and whatever it is that comes through, I share it into the world with the intention that it might reach somebody and it might remind them, just like it reminds me, of how Allah speaks to us through the many, many different avenues that there are. And when we are open to receiving His guidance, then our heart opens to listening to it from different limitless spaces. And with that, I want to start Bismillahirrahmanirrahim with today's inspiration. Generally, as a Muslim, one of the things that we recite when we hear about somebody's death is Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Something that I've always loved, and I've always felt very connected to these words, and they've brought a lot of peace in my heart. And that is what I wanted to share and speak about today. It says, this is actually from Surah Baqarah in 155 ayat to 157, and it says here, we certainly test you with a touch of fear, famine and loss of property, life and crops. Give good news to those who patiently endure, who say when struck by a disaster, surely to Allah we belong, and to Him we will all return. They are the ones who will receive Allah's blessings and mercy, and it is they who are rightly guided. Now, I like to break this apart through whatever it is that I feel. I do have to say I'm not an, I don't know how to word it, but I'm not a scholar of any kind. I'm studying Quraan on my own. And whatever it is that I share is very much connected to my intuition, to my internal guidance. And I hope that it doesn't disappoint any of you in any way. It is more to just reflect on Quran in a way that it makes sense to me. And it's a very personal journey. And when I share it with the world, it's truly with the simple intention that it reaches a heart and reminds it of how close Allah is to all of us in all the minutes, times, days, and years that we have on this planet. Having said that, I will start breaking it apart with you. So the first sentence here is, we will certainly test you with a touch of fear, famine, and loss of property, life, and crops. What is so beautiful is that Allah tells us that whatever comes upon you, the good or the bad, everything that you go through in life that you feel is bringing fear or bringing loss in your life, that you are losing either a person or a property or something in your life, you might feel that that is something that is happening to you, but it is actually happening for you to test your iman, to test where you are in connection with Allah. How much do you feel attached to these things, these people, these experiences, to your career, to your children, to your spouse, to your parents, to whoever, to job, to the money that's coming? How attached are you, even to your own self, to your health? How attached are you to these things in comparison to Allah Himself? So who do you value more than all that Allah has given you in your life. And so when He chooses to take it away from you, where do you stand? Do you lose your ground? Do you say, oh, this is happening to me because I'm a bad person, these are my sins and whatever? Or do you actually recognize that that is how Allah pulls you closer towards Him? This is how He says, we will certainly, like there's no doubt about this, that He will test us. He will test us, and He will give us fear. He will give us famine. He will make us lose the things that we love. So don't take things literally, like loss of property. You might lose something like your house or car or whatever. It is saying that the things that I have given you on this planet, you will lose them. And when you lose them, it is through that loss you will feel like you will be pulled back towards me to increase your iman, to increase your faith. So don't look at these things as attachments, or understand that the test is going to come. And He clearly says that this is what I'm going to test you, which makes it super no, I'm not going to say easy for us, but at least it alerts us to say, when this something bad happens, it's not happening because you're good or bad. It is happening because you needed that test to grow, to come closer towards your Creator. So it's not a bad thing. The test is basically happening so that you can rise in your rank closer to Allah's people. And then He says, give good news to those who patiently endure, who say when struck by a disaster. Meaning that let those know who understand that the good and the bad comes from me, that whatever it is that they are blessed with, the loss, the property, the things that they're losing, the life, the attachments that they have. And when you look at the word crops means that what grows on the ground in the earth, right? So it is something that you are surrounded by. So things that happen to you, for you, whatever, is all happening by Allah. And in those moments, Allah wants you to know that first He warns you, He tells you, He guides you, He makes you alert about the test. So He first tells you about that the test is going to have the loss of the things that you could be attached. That's a really bad pen, sorry. I'm just going to change it. It's making me. That you are, well, that's really the one thing. Attached to. So the test is going to come and you're going to lose things that you will be attached to in this world. But when that test happens to you and things are taken away, it is in those moments Allah wants you to say that this is a test that I will send you. In those moments, He also gives you the good news, meaning first He guides you, He alerts you, He makes your brain recognize that this is actually something that's going to happen to all of humanity. And then He says, for those who believe in Him and hold patience in understanding that the good and the bad, the test was basically coming to them so that you could get closer to Allah. He says in those moments, if you are patient, and what does patient mean? I'll get into that in a minute. But He gives you good news that when the loss happens, and you remind yourself that everything and anything, surely to Allah we belong, meaning everything and anything that you are, meaning whatever it is that you have, all that you think you are belongs to Him. Now think about it. What is it that you think you are? Think you are smart. You are healthy. You are rich. Whatever you think you are educated. You are married. You are blessed with whatever, right? Now, when you think about it, everything that you are was all given to you by Allah. Your hands, your feet, your body parts, everything that you are, that you think, everything that you are belongs to Him. So anything and everything that you have accumulated on this planet, all your knowledge, all your thoughts, everything belongs to Him, meaning this body that you have, the whole body, your heartbeat, your blood vessels, your fingernails, your hair on your head and body, whatever it is, all belong to Allah. Then we go into the ruh that you have, meaning your soul, also belongs to Allah. Then we go into understanding that everything that the body needs, meaning car, home, food, everything belongs to Allah. What your ruh needs, your heart, your thoughts, your feelings, all of this belong to Allah. So everything that you think of who you are, your clothes, your friendships, I just want you to have that understanding that every single thing that you are, He's telling you belongs to Him. So you don't really own any of this. You is equals to 0. You couldn't have even the 0 if He didn't want you to. So basically, you couldn't even exist if He didn't want you to. You only exist as a 0 because He chose you to. So He's the one who gave you a family. He's the one who gave you the food. He's the one who gave you the car. He's the one who's given you a ceiling to live in, a warm space, a blanket, a bed, the eyes to see, the nose to smell, the ears to hear. Everything that you are belongs to Him, right? And then all of this that you think you are is going to go back to Him, right? And what this truly means is that whatever He has given you in this dunya is something you are going to be accountable, because you will actually have to return it all back to Him. And that's when we really understand. So if this house was your body, what have you been accumulating in this house? What have you been stuffing the shelves with? What has been sitting on your sofa? What have you been listening to? What is it that you are seeing outside your window? What is the accumulation of this house? What has been allowed to enter this house? Who have you allowed to enter this house? Now, if you think about it, this house belongs to Allah. But you have been placing inside this house unworthiness. you have placed inside this house a person or an experience, a job that makes you feel life is miserable. Excuse me. What have you accumulated in this house? Regrets, failures, everything. Think about everything that you have accumulated in his house, meaning inside your body, inside your heart. What have you been carrying? And that's a question you will have to answer. So the more you dive deeper into this, surely we belong to Allah, all of this, all of you, the why, the O, the you, the body, the soul, the spirit, the thoughts, the actions, the things that you need, everything belongs to Allah and everything will be returned to Allah. Now, you have been taking care of all these things, and all these things need to go back to Allah. Death can happen at any time. So what will you be taking back with you? Resentment, anger, shame, regret. What are you going to be taking back with you is what Allah wants you to focus on, because the journey was never just about coming to the planet. The journey was also returning home to the heaven that you came from. But you came here to collect the things that you will be needing for your journey up, to get your ticket into your house in your Jannat. To reach back home, you will need the finances that you will earn here with this that you've been collecting inside you, and that is what will get you back home to where you came from. And you've been collecting anything, whatever it is that you've been collecting inside this house that belongs to Allah. What are you going to be taking back to Him? How are you going to take back to Him? What have you been filling this house with? Now, if you've been filling yourself up with whatever, right? Imagine all good and bad things, right? Are you proud of the things that you have in you? Are you proud of the resentment, the guilt, the anger, the shame, the whatever it is that you've been carrying inside, grief inside? Is this what you want to return back to Allah with? Is this what Allah gave you in the first place? So when you came here as a baby, as a child, did you have all of these in you? No. What did you have in you? Your beautiful ruh. How can you reach a space where you are as clean as this ruh? Is by not carrying the things that you've been carrying. By putting down all the things that you've been carrying inside your soul and allowing yourself to feel lighter by forgiving yourself. When you forgive yourself, let me show you what really happens. When you forgive yourself, you accept the qadr of your Allah. You say, whatever happened to me, for example, this happened to you, you realize that it didn't happen to me, it happened for me, so I could get closer to Allah, clean my heart, remove that stuff that you have in that house, so that your house could be cleaned up, could be empty of this thing. So because he gave you this was here, this is all what you've been carrying inside you. When you forgive yourself, you let go of, so you let go of this one, you remove this from this house. When you forgive yourself for things that happened to you or for you, also for example, this person did make you feel shameful. When you forgive yourself for this to have happened to you, you remove another cross from here. And over a period of time, you keep removing those crosses. My father did this to me, my mother did this to me, my sister did this to me. Now, I want you to think about it. All of them could only do what Allah had written for you. Now, why would Allah write a father who is abusive or a husband who is abusive? So that you are able to see and recognize that that is what you are here to stand up against. If your father is abusive, does not love you, or is emotionally unavailable, you look at this experience, you forgive him, and you recognize that he was not there so that you could learn how to be there for yourself. He could not provide in the way that you needed to be provided. So you have to learn to be providing yourself. And so you not only forgive him, but you forgive yourself, and you empty your thing by saying, do you know what? If he would have provided me with everything, he was emotionally available for me, I would not have learned how to deal with my own, how to come closer in my own emotions and be available for me as I do now. As I've learned through him not being there, I have learned how I need to be there for myself. And that you share with your children in the coming years, so that you don't allow that cycle to go on through you, and you break that pattern. It is so powerful when we recognize that whatever it is that happened to us was actually happening for us, so that we could heal all of this. So every single human being, the test that they have been given, as God speaks about them to us, these were all given to us so that we could carry them in our heart and allow the light to, one by one, help us clean the rubbish that we collect in ourselves. So if this person made you feel a certain way and it brought a cross in here, what this person was doing was helping you to work ways on how you can clean this cross. When this person gives you pain, in pain, you might go and do drugs, you might watch a Netflix, you might eat food, you might become a shopaholic, workaholic, whatever it is that you do, become addicted to all these things. There comes a time in your life when the pain is so excruciatingly high that nothing of these can really satisfy you. Where do you run to? You could run to a friend, you could run to a person, but you know what? Nobody sits with you in pain, so this is also useless. Where do you run to? You get to God. Pain is the passageway that gets you closer to God, because this pain can only be healed by the light, by the love of your Creator. So this person who came into your life, who hurt you or abandoned you or rejected you, only rejected you for you to feel the pain, so that the pain could be your guide to your God. And when you get to God, He comes in and He gives you the good news to remind you that this house belongs to me, and so I will clean it up for you, with you, and you are not able to carry any kind of pain in you, and frees you from the people that hurt you and removes them. When your focus becomes God, He will remove this from you. He will remove this from you. For He says, to me you belong, and to me you will return. So when you return, He's given you this massive hint or guide, or kind of like a puzzle piece. He says, return to me. You belong to me. Return to me through whatever experiences I send you. Return to me. Keep coming back to me. Stop going to other things. Stop getting addicted. Stop going for like working and not feeling your pain. Balance yourself and understand that the pain was given to you so that the pain could lead you to me. And God, when you return back to God, what will God do? God will protect you from all of this, will protect you from this dunya, because only and only He can protect you from this dunya. Only and only He can guide you back to the word of Allah. Only and only He can make you remember that you belong to Him, and that who belongs to the master, to the king, to the the owner of the whole universe. That means the whole of the universe works according to God. So all the bad people that you think will start becoming good, all the bad things that the bad job or whatever will vanish, because now your focus is not on those people and things and even yourself. Your focus becomes God. And when God is the owner of the universe, everything works according to God. So when you return to Him, when you turn to Him, when you make Him your priority, the whole universe starts working for you in synchronistic ways to remind you of who you have turned to. God, light. And that is when you start believing in the Qadr of Allah. Qadr of Allah means bad and good all comes from Him. And He will never give you anything bad per se. That's your mind, and my mind, which is egoic, says that something bad happened to me. I lost my business, or I lost a relationship, or I'm divorced, or I'm dying, or whatever. That's not bad. It's basically happening so that you can feel the pain and get closer to Him, and be reminded that it is not the people, it is not you yourself who can actually heal your heart. The only one who can heal your heart and bring you back from the dead is the one who created the heart, the one who actually owns the heart, the one who you belong to owns your heart. So that really, really helps us come closer to God and be guided towards His blessings. And that's what He says. They are the ones who will receive Allah's blessings and mercy. And it is they who are rightly guided. You know what rightly guided means is they are guided in a way that they don't go astray, they don't go off the path. They're rightly guided towards that what is the true guidance. They are guided in a way that they feel like being guided towards that light. They are called towards that light. They accept that light, that is the light that was always there for them to guide them back home to its creator. And with that, I just want to end the session by saying that focus on understanding that when you belong to Allah, you surrender yourself to Him fully. You allow yourself to completely be in submission to His will. And the only way to do that is to bring your head down on the floor and let all your worries be taken care by Him. Sajda. Lower your head, lower your gaze, come into your heart and remind yourself when you belong to the one who loves you the most. The one who loves you the most will make the whole universe work for you so that you are able to connect to it constantly and be guided towards that, what is right, what is what is where you were meant to be guided in the first place, by whom. And that is when you will start receiving your abundance, your love, everything that you've ever desired of. And that is when what that truly means. Surely to Allah we belong. The more we increase our focus on this statement, the more you will rise your vibration closer and closer to the oneness of this universe. And the universe will start speaking to you through the chirping of the birds, through the courage of the lion, through the wind that blows through your hair, the breath that you take, the heart that beats in you. Everything belongs to the Creator. When you value your breath, when you value your heartbeat, when you value the life that you have been gifted, you start valuing your Creator and yourself. When you value yourself, you basically get ready, you get prepared, you take care of your body needs, your soul needs, and you get ready to return back home to Him. So when you value yourself, you'll nurture your being, you'll forgive yourself, and you will remind yourself there's no need to carry any resentment, anger, or anything towards anybody or yourself, for that is not how you want to return back to God. You want to return back to God in the way that He wants you to come home, cleansed and purified with love, with compassion towards yourself, towards creation, and towards your wonderful Creator. I really hope you got something out of this session. If so, leave me a comment. Let me know how that feels. And I'm sending you lots of love, lots of light, and lots of peace towards your heart. For we all belong to Him. And to Him, InshaAllah, we will return. I love you. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon. Allah Hafiz.